Hi, I can see some of you are tuning in early. I just thought I'd get started a little bit early. Sometimes people take a bit of time to jump on, so I'll just wait for there's quite a few of you today, so I'll just wait for everyone to tune in, and then we'll get started at about, well, it depends what time it is for you, but in about 4 minutes. So hang there while we wait for everyone to join. Awesome. I'll introduce myself in a second as well, so just sit tight for a few more minutes. I'm also I just popped something in the chat. You might see there's a little notification that would have popped up at the bottom of your screen. So for those of you that are here, you can pull up that little chat notification. It's just got some instructions on there if you can't hear me. Most of you should be able to, but if you can't, there's some instructions down there that will help with that. Yes, I can see a question come through that yes, you are muted. So I'll get to that in a second, but basically I'm going to do the presentation and then you'll use the question and answers pop-up if you have any questions, and I can get to them. It just saves lots of people interrupting the presentation. So yes, you are muted, and I haven't got all your videos turned on either. So yeah. Hi, Jude and Paul. Nice to meet. I wish I could meet you in person, but nice to have you guys here. Well, why don't we just, we'll get started. I'll introduce myself because there's quite a few of you here already. So we'll make a slow start while the others, turn up in the next couple of minutes. Hi, Catherine. Nice to meet you. Awesome. So I'll just do a bit of housekeeping anyway. Firstly, my name is Hannah, and I'm one of Active Adventures Travel Gurus. Now, you would have seen already that there is a couple of features at the bottom of your screen. So you've got a chat feature there and a Q&A feature. So I've already had one question, I've had someone use the chat feature, someone's used the Q&A feature. So for the purpose of this webinar, what we'll do to make it nice and easy for myself and you guys, will just use the Q&A for any questions. So I've actually got another Active Adventures guru here with me today. Her name is Amy. Amy will be there to answer any questions that need to be answered straight away. But if it's not urgent, I will try and get to them at the end in the Q&A time. Let's just pop in. If anything pops up along the way, pop it in that Q&A. We'll get to them at the end. There's also another little feature there, the raise hand feature, which I'll be using that a couple of times throughout our chat. If I ask you a question, I say raise your hand, and you can click that little button and I'll see you. So maybe let's start with, just to make sure everyone can hear me, raise your hand if you can hear me. I should be able to see lots of hands. Awesome. Heaps of hands, that's great. It's looking like most of you can hear me. That is fantastic. Okay, well, it's pretty much time. So I'll start off quickly before we get into it today. I know you're all here to learn about, how to plan a trip to Patagonia, which is really exciting. My name, like I said, for those that are just tuning in now, my name's Hannah. I'm one of the Active Adventures Travel Gurus. A little bit about me and how I came to Active. I recently settled in the adventure capital of the world, Queenstown, New Zealand. Obviously I'm biased, but after spending 6 months in Europe, ticking off as many countries and cities as possible, it was here that I discovered Active Adventures. So loved all the outdoor opportunities that Active presented me with, and I was really keen to get into as many of the beautiful backcountry spots around the world. So naturally, working at Active Adventures seemed like a pretty normal step for me, and now I get to basically live the dream and tell folks like you about how awesome it is to explore the world under your own steam. Rightio. So let's get started. I'm going to keep things nice and short this evening. I'll talk for about 20-25 minutes. You know, there's so much that I could talk about tonight, but yeah, I'll just be covering off some of the main points and highlights. So, and if we obviously have a little bit of time left, I'd love to answer some of those questions. Right, so I'm just going to start off with a quick little video. Everyone loves a good video, so hang tight for a moment. You'll see me fiddling around with some settings here. Alrighty.
My mother said, why would you want to go there? Because her image of Patagonia was the toughest. And that was it. And I said, no, there's mountains, there's glaciers, there's rivers, a very rugged and solitary kind of landscape defined by ice and thick. Yeah. I come from a personal history of a lot of backpacking. Until I went with active adventure trips, I had never done on guided trips. Having somebody guide you, tell you about things, traveling with a group, because a lot of my backpacking was solo. It's probably at the right time of my life to transition to this kind of hiking, because it's just as strenuous, but I think with creature comforts. I don't mind spending a day scrambling up the mountains to get to a refugio and then not have to worry about pitching a tent, making my dinner, and all that kind of stuff. That was something I had never experienced before, and it certainly creates.
Awesome. So that's a little snippet of one of our trips, which I'll get to chatting about soon. Alrighty, so let's start off with a little bit about who we are as a group, Active Adventures, and what we do. So we have been running these amazing hiking, biking, kayaking trips for over about 23 years now. We take small groups into the backcountry scenery all over the world, and it's all under your own steam. So that's through things like hiking, biking, kayaking, all of that good stuff. And yeah, we've carefully crafted our trips over in South America to get you away from the regular tourist traps and into the most beautiful spots that Patagonia has to offer you. You know, the whole point of our trips is to get you away from the crowds and a bit more off the beaten track, often to the spots that only the locals know about. And we do love our creature comforts too. So at the end of the day, you will be well taken care of. So you'll get the best of both worlds. And if that's not already enough, we'll be taking care of absolutely everything for you while you're on the trip. So, you know, we understand that your holiday time is precious. So, you know, on all of our trips, we take care of everything for you from the moment you leave. From the moment you join us to the moment you leave. That's, you know, your accommodation, your transport, to guides, and all your activities and gear and meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, the works. You'll notice, you know, if you were to travel in South America by yourself, that you would end up having to put your hand in your pocket a lot of the time for a number of things. So, you know, traveling with a group like us, you know, not only a way to ensure that you'll enjoy your holiday and not have to worry about all the logistics like permits, getting around, but it also ensures that you'll stick to a predetermined budget, which is what I like. All right, so first up, we get asked a lot about seasons, you know, when's the best time to get over there? So our Patagonia season starts in October and it finishes in March. Yeah, we only hike during the stable hiking season over there, with the driest months being January and February. You won't find us out hiking in the middle of Patagonia winter. And the temperatures, they range during this time from, you know, that they're typically within the 60s and 70s, and that's in Fahrenheit. So yeah, I'm not actually sure if many of you have been to New Zealand before, but Patagonia has a similar latitude to us, so it's just a wee bit further south. The weather is similar. The trips we run are during the summer, meaning we typically get warm, blue, clear sky days. Yeah, it is a mountainous area, so weather can pass through any time of the year. You might get some wind here and there, but for the most part, you'll be out enjoying the sunshine, hiking in summer gear. I did actually, just while I'm here, can you guys all see me? All okay? Can you guys, some of you raise your hand? Just want to make sure that you can see me. Cool. If you can't see me, well, it's looking like most of you can. I just had a little moment there thinking, gosh, I hope you can see my face. I should be in a little box up there. Cool, it's looking like you can. Right, so that's a bit about the best times to get over there. Now, north versus south. This is another really big question for people when they don't know too much about the area. So when it comes to comparing the two, they are both very different. And if you do have the time, I certainly recommend doing both. We have designed the dates for our trips to tie in really nicely. So a little bit about southern Patagonia. It's known for its huge glaciers, Torres del Paine National Park, which is home to the mind-blowing and renowned W trek, which is obviously known because it's shaped like a W. It has some of the most incredible scenery that you will ever see. It's, you know, it is just out of this world. It's super remote, and yeah, it is a mountainous area. So yeah, you'll also get to experience staying in some of the classic South American mountain refugios here. Now, northern Patagonia, different again. So very, very diverse. Lots of volcanoes, lakes, you know, lush rainforests, and authentic Patagonian culture. So it is where the locals go on their holidays, a lot of them anyway. And if you're wanting to, you know, really experience that authentic South American culture, then you'll definitely want to head north. I personally love our northern Patagonia trip, which I'll talk about just in a second, because it starts in Bariloche. So Bariloche it reminds me a lot of home. I'm from Queenstown, like I said earlier, and so Bariloche is similar in the sense that it's a small little alpine town, and I think it's known for its Swiss Swiss architecture, not culture, and it's chocolate. And yeah, you can ski there in the winter, and you can get up to all sorts of activities, adventurous activities, from, you know, the hiking, the biking, the kayaking. It's all there. So we have two main trips in Patagonia. So we've got one in the north and one in the south. So our northern Patagonia trip is called the Puma. It's an incredible trip where you'll get to soak up the culture in Bariloche, like I just spoke about. You'll explore Huilo Huilo Biological Reserve, which is this massive natural reserve and ecotourism project filled with native forest, wildlife, and quirky lodging. If you give that a wee Google, you might see some cool stuff there. You'll also escape to the very scenic lakeside town of Porto Varas, which has epic views of Osorno volcano, which we will get to hike as well. And you'll also explore Patagonia's dramatic fjords via the boat and kayak, which in my view is definitely the best way to get away and experience those fjords away from the crowds. And then we have our southern Patagonia trip. This one is called the Condor. You know, this, like I said, this southern Patagonian is home to the towering mountain peaks of Torres del Paine National Park and some of the best hiking in the world. So I've actually got with me today, we're very lucky. Now, if you just bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to promote her to a panelist. So you guys should be able to see one of our guides. Now, her name is Cynthia. She is, we're, like I said, very lucky to have her here with us today. She's guided our Condor trip for a long, long time now. Cynthia's actually been with us for over 13 years and is one of our most loved South American guides. She's born and bred in South America herself, so we are very lucky to have her on board with us here at Active. She's, a world of local knowledge, and she could talk about this trip for hours and about her passion for this beautiful country. But we've only got her for a couple of minutes, and yeah, I was really just keen for her to share directly with you guys in a wee bit of a nutshell about her time in Patagonia and describe some of the highlights on our Condor, our southern Patagonia trip. So if you're there, Cynthia, can you say hello to everyone? Oh, I'm not sure if we can hear her just yet. I know why, because I've got her muted. Can you talk now, Cynthia?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I hope you had a great day. You make me feel like I want to go to Patagonia right now. The pictures are just amazing, and they don't really do it justice.
No, absolutely not. Now, but just before you get talking, Cynthia, can I just get everyone to raise your hand if you can see Cynthia as well? Great. That's perfect. Awesome. So yeah, Cynthia, if you could just, why don't you just start by describing some of the highlights on our Condor trip?
Man, everything is just a highlight, but I'm going to start with Torres del Paine. So Torres del Paine is the first national park that we visit, and we spent 5 days, 4 nights in the park. It's absolutely gorgeous to be right there in the middle of the lakes and the rivers, the streams, and the very jagged, massive mountains. It's just priceless. We sleep in huts, in refugios, with very comfortable beds, hot showers. They cook for you, and they even have a bar. So you don't have to carry wine for 5 days.
Awesome.
Plus, you meet amazing people. It's not just about the towers. The towers are probably the most famous ones. But there's a highlight every single day. So there's the horns of Paine Grande, massive, the biggest mountain in the park. There's glaciers. Every day we're looking for something different, and it's just amazing. It's out of this world.
Wow.
After that, we go to Argentina to visit Perito Moreno Glacier, and the day is a little bit more mellow, but the whole day it's about the glacier. It's the star of the show. Perito Moreno moves every single day, so that means that it's constantly cracking, and it's just like you're in a movie. You're walking. They have very nicely done catwalks, a couple hundred meters away from the glacier, and you hear the glacier cracking all the time and calving. So you see these huge chunks of ice just like falling in the lake, and it moves every single day. So I guarantee you're gonna see at least a tiny piece the size of a building falling into the lake. Plus we have an amazing boat ride. So it's nice to see it from different angles, and you can see how it comes down from the ice field. It's just, you're meeting a celebrity in Patagonia, pretty much. And then we go for more hiking and a bit of biking to El Chaltén. So that's the Argentinian part of the trip, right? And it's similar to Torres del Paine, but very different at the same time. So we're going to see Fitzroy Mount, and we have 4 days over there. So lots of chances to see the mountain, and also see the mountain range just from different angles. So it's not always the same view, same area, and you can see the mountains from the town. It's very, I don't know, it's very impressive because Patagonia, it's pretty flat. You're in the steppe, and these mountains are like 9,000 feet. So it's pretty flat, and you see some cowboys and some animals, wildlife, and then you go around the corner at these huge jagged peaks that show up from nowhere. So I don't know, it's very impressive, wild scenery, landscape. I haven't seen anything like that, and I travel a lot.
Yeah, you do. Wow. Yeah, I mean, Cynthia can describe that scenery the best. I'm
getting excited already.
Spends a lot of time there, and I'm very jealous that she gets to do that. What about your, if you could, we can't talk too long, but could you tell us like your favorite part of that Southern Patagonia trip?
Yeah, I think that I like them both, and they're both similar and different at the same time. I do love the very first part of the trip the most, and that's because I like the fact that you were in the park for 5 days away from civilization, cars, phones, email, work, and you can really, feel like you're on holidays. You're earning those views. You stop to have lunch in the moose, amazing lookouts. And that's the part of the trip where everybody just like bonded and become a big family, because everybody helps each other, and it's just so rewarding and nice at the end of the day. And even like sleeping in the huts and everything, you meet so many amazing people, get new ideas for new trips anyways. And yes, take it all in. From the refugios, you can also have a fantastic view of the area. You're right at the bottom, basically. So I think that staying in that one place that has absolutely everything around it, it's my favorite part.
Yeah. Wow, that's
also nice to go to Argentina and have a shower and become prepared and everything. But that very first part, it's like magical, I think.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Cynthia. I can totally relate. I just love getting away on those overnight hikes. Just phone is off, and you really it makes you
have to be on time and have fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Cynthia. We'll carry on, okay?
Yeah, we'll hope to see you in Patagonia anytime soon, and maybe I'll see you guys in Patagonia next season or the following one.
Hopefully.
Have a great week.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Cynthia.
Thank
All right, guys, we will just carry on. So that's awesome to hear from her. Like I said, she's been going for over 13 years now with us. She also goes and does Peru, the Machu Picchu as well. So lots to talk about, but we'll carry on with Patagonia. So I'm also just going to share. Oh, sorry, that was a slide that was actually supposed to be up while Cynthia was talking. But there's a cool little picture of her down here. She'll actually pop up in some of the other photos along the way. Alrighty, so we actually also have another trip in Patagonia. It's called the Peru. Now, this is a limited trip, if you like. So next year in December, we're running a trip exclusively for those interested in seeing the total solar eclipse, with northern Patagonia being the ideal location for experiencing this very rare spectacle where the moon and the sun align perfectly for a very brief moment. And during this same time, the Earth is set to put on another show for us, one of the largest meteor showers, where it's going to be possible to see up to, I think about 120 shooting stars within just 1 hour. So, gosh, I can't even imagine what that will look like. I think it's going to be a stargazer's dream. And on top of this, once in a lifetime experience, you'll also get to see a whole bunch of similar incredible backcountry spots that we head into on our northern Patagonia trip that I spoke about earlier, our Puma. So it is limited. Space is left. One of the trips is basically nearly full, and so we've got 2 dates heading out in December. So I will be popping a link in the chat a little bit later on at the end with some of the trip dates. So it will take you straight there. So if you're keen on those last few spots, I'd strongly suggest reaching out to us after. Alrighty, so moving on, this is actually Cynthia here with a couple of her now great friends who she told me about the other day. They sound like such legends, and have joined us on heaps of our trips now, which is awesome. So this is something we get asked about quite a bit, fitness. So our trips, they are designed for real people. Not crazy mountain marathon runners, although we do have a few of those here at Active, so there's absolutely no qualms, no worries if you are one of those. More active the better, but yeah, we can challenge you either way. We, it's all about going at your own pace. Super important to us. Taking lots of stops along the way to soak up all that beautiful scenery. This is really important. To enjoy the hiking in Patagonia, you'll want to have a reasonable level of fitness. So, with the right training, you will be good to go. Typically, the hikes on both of the trips, they range between 4 to 6 hours. So there'll be some shorter, some longer days, but that's your average. And of course, nothing on the trip is mandatory. It is your holiday, and you can do as much or as little as you want. I think you'll find though with some of the scenery you'll want to be out exploring as much as you possibly can with the time you have there. So yeah, like with all of our active trips, we are flexible and we do have options to suit a range of fitness levels. You know, the W trek on our on the Condor, yeah, we've actually just introduced an alternative option. So if you're not so keen to do longer days and stay in the huts, we've got an option where you get to explore Torres del Paine National Park and all the major highlights, you know, like Grey Lake and the French Valley, but by day trips and day hikes and activities. So yeah, we've got something for everyone. When it comes to altitude in Patagonia, this isn't an issue because we skirt around the mountains. We stay at low elevations throughout the trip. So we actually have a whole bunch of extra information on exact hiking distances and elevations. So yeah, we have a nice day-to-day breakdown, which we can send out to you for either trip. Happy to send that out if you get in touch as well after. Okay, so how do I get there? So when it comes to booking flights, it obviously depends on where you're coming from and where you're going. So the Condor trip starts in Punta Arenas, which is the heart of Patagonia down here. I'm sorry if you can't see that, I've just had something pop up, but you can see it down the bottom there. And it finishes in El Calafate, which is here. And the best way to get to the start of our Condor trip is via the national capital of Santiago, Chile, which is up here. So really, really easy. The Puma trip, on the other hand, starts and finishes here in Bariloche. And the best way to get to start of our Puma trip is via Buenos Aires over here. So is there any Americans here? Raise your hand. Do we have anyone from the States today? I'm sure we do, and I can see we do. So hello from over here. So yeah, from the USA, I think you can use American Airlines. Connections to Santiago and Buenos Aires are usually via places like Miami, New York, LA, Atlanta, Dallas, or Chicago. So lots of places to get there via. So what about any? Do we have any Kiwis and Aussies? Any of my folk here today? Looks like, yeah, we've got a couple. So from Australia and New Zealand, you can from Australia you can fly with Qantas to Santiago, and in New Zealand fly to Buenos Aires via Auckland. And what about any Canadians? Have we got any Canadians here today? I know we get a few Canadians that join us. Yeah, looks like we got some of those today. So yeah, for you guys, I think you can use Air Canada. You can also use American Airlines and Delta, and they all have connections via Toronto. Who am I missing? Any Europeans? Okay, no Europeans today. That's a surprise. We get a few Europeans too. That's all right. So so that's just a little bit of information about the flights. And then when it comes to getting from Santiago or Buenos Aires, there are a couple of airlines within South America that you can use, and they have several flights a day. You can fly either LATAM Chile or Sky Airline. And if you guys need a hand, we can put you in touch with Amy. Not Amy that's here today helping us. We have another lovely lady called Amy who is awesome at helping find flight deals. But it is always good to look at your other engine searches, like I think you've got Kayak. Gosh, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but it is good to just look around and compare, because there are lots of different ways of getting there. But we can definitely give you a hand. Right. So the 2 V's, as I like to call them, visas and vaccinations. We do get asked a wee bit about these 2 things. So it's all good news. It's really easy. So if you're from the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, most Western European countries, it's good news. You're not going to need a visa to enter. You'll just get a 90-day tourist card upon arrival, and all you'll need to do then is to keep this in a safe place, hold on to it, because sometimes the hotels and refugios will ask you for this along the way, and then it's handed back in when you leave. So that's really easy. And when it comes to vaccinations, there aren't any particular ones that are required, but we definitely recommend, making sure you're all up to date with your usual vaccines like hepatitis A, tetanus, chickenpox, measles. So yeah, if you haven't had them before, it's, like with any trip, it's always good to head along to your travel doctor and just chat to them to get the most up-to-date info and just check that you're all up to date. Alrighty, so we're nearly at the end. And yeah, we get asked a fair bit about what should I pack. So with our trips, you'll just need a main piece of luggage. So like any holiday, you'll bring that piece of luggage with you, and it'll be transported around with us. When we're out during the day, the majority of the time, you'll just need a day pack. So yeah, the hiking, it's just day hiking for the most part. So you'll only need that day pack, which is enough to hold your camera, water bottle, rain jacket, just those things you'll need during the day. Hiking boots, you will want some of those. It's really important that you have good ankle support out there, especially when it comes to some of the hiking over in Patagonia. The guides will be making sure everyone's in the right footwear. And layers, yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, we'll mostly be hiking out in the sunshine, the beautiful sunshine beneath the mountains, but yeah, because it is a mountainous area, weather can pass through at any time of the year, so it's always best to carry all your layers, and then you can always just chuck the layers off. It's better to have that layered clothing system, of course, than to be underprepared. So when it comes to the Condor trip, that's just for those that are going to be doing the W trek. You will need a 60-litre pack and a sleeping bag. It doesn't need to be heavy. The guides will be making sure everyone's packed so as light as possible. It should only have that sleeping bag, change of clothes, and a few toiletries. So you won't be carrying anything extra. We'll sort that out. And then, you won't have to carry that pack the whole time either. So once we get to the refugios, often we'll just drop our packs and we might then head off and do some other sections of the track. So yeah, you can hire packs and sleeping bags from us too. That way you're more than welcome to bring your own, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes people prefer just to get that off us from us there. We do actually have a detailed gear list as well. Happy to send that out. We normally send, as soon as someone holds their spot, puts down their deposit, we send them a whole bunch of really useful resources. You get access to an online platform which has all sorts of useful stuff like a detailed gear list. Really good for that preparation side of things. So I think that brings us to the end. I'm actually just going to launch a wee poll. So you guys feel free to I'm just quite curious to see what you guys are thinking now that I've spoken a wee bit about the two north versus south. I can already see some results coming through. We've got a few both I can't decide, so I can't blame you. So I hope today's been helpful in some way or another, and we'll hopefully get to see you guys over there soon. Patagonia, it really is an amazing country packed with some of the best views you'll ever see. Hopefully you will be able to experience both the north and the south, but if you have to pick, gosh, that's really tough. And if you are going to have to pick between the two, I most certainly, like I said earlier, recommend coming back and doing the other. I'm just going to pop, before I get to some questions, we're running out of time, but I'm going to pop in there into the chat. I'm going to pop in the trip dates, like I said. So for those of you who are keen to, oopsies, not that one. So for those of you who are keen to see when some of our trips are scheduled, you'll be best to click on these two links while I've got them before the webinar ends. So click on those links, it'll pull up the trip dates for you guys to have a wee nosy in there. Now, I've also popped the toll-free numbers on here and our email address. So if you guys want some extra information on things like the hiking distances, nice day-to-day breakdowns of the different days on the different trips, detailed gear list, or if you have any other questions, you can chat with me directly or one of our other gurus who are equally as knowledgeable and happy to chat with you guys whenever. Cool, so I can see there's quite a few questions coming through. So we've only got a little bit of time. I just don't want to keep you guys too late. So if I don't get to them all, I'm going to have Amy. She's going to be taking down all your names and questions, and I'm going to make sure we get back to you really quickly. So I've got a few questions. So I can see we've got a question here from Nancy. We've got a question saying, what are the mountain refugios like in South America? Good question. So all of them are individually owned and exclusive to the national parks. They have a real hiking vibe. So, think your big long tables for our buffet dinners in the evening, nice warm fire, lots of board games in the communal lounge on hand. They are dorm style, so this is just the mountain refugios on the W Trek, for those wondering. So they are dorm style, but that's generally the way hiking cabins and refugios work over there. If you do want your own space, it's not a problem. We can organise a tent. We have done that in the past, but most people usually find the dorm rooms for a couple of nights are perfect, and like Cynthia said earlier, it makes for a much more fun and memorable experience along the trek. Cool. So, Karen, I can see, so you've said, I heard there are no more spots on the Eclipse trips. Is this true? So last I checked, which was just yesterday, we still had 5 more spots. It could have changed this morning, but not that I'm aware of. So there is definitely a few more spots, but they will go. So hopefully that answers your question. I'll have another look after this as well and let you know. Okay, so wow, there's a lot of questions. I'll try. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to get to them all, but I can see here we've got another question. What are the typical ages of folks that come on your trips? Typically, we get people in their 50s, 60s and 70s. We sometimes get people in their 30s and 40s too, but we do tend to get a slightly older demographic on our Patagonia trips than some of our other trips. Margaret, got a question from Margaret. How far in advance should we book if there are 4 of us? Cool. So I would say, people typically tend to book anywhere from 1 year to 6 months in advance on most of our trips. However, I'd say, as soon as it's something that you want to do, especially if there's a few of you, like in your scenario, I'd get yourselves sorted. We only take small groups of 14 people, and we have limited concessions on treks like the W Trek, which have to be booked quite far in advance. So that's why you'll see a lot of our trips filling ahead of time. In fact, I think a number of them are quite full already. So yeah, as soon as it's something you want to do, we can get you all set up. And I think we only really have time. We've already gone sort of 10 minutes over, and I know for some of you it is getting late. So I'll just take one more. I can see there's quite a few. We could be here for a while. So yeah, I'm going to jot those down and get back to you directly. But we'll just take one more question, Dottie. So so you've just written, I'm worried about being too slow. Will I hold the group up? Now, look, we actually get asked this heaps. So not at all. We, like I said earlier, our trips aren't for crazy triathletes, normal people. They're for normal people. We typically have 2 guides on our trips, meaning there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to, going at your own pace. One guide will normally head up the front for anyone that wants to push on, and then one will hang around the back. And everyone just kind of spreads out at their own pace in between. It is really important to us that no one feels like they're holding anyone back. We want you to enjoy yourselves on this trip, not endure anything. So yeah, I think we'll pause there. I can see a few more. I'm really sorry I can't get to them all. Amy has taken them down. I can see that she has got that. So she's got all the names and questions. So don't hesitate as well to give us a wee call. It's a toll-free number. And yeah, you can flick us an email if you want to chat a wee bit further. But hopefully we'll be seeing some of you guys over there soon. The season is fast approaching, and I know Cynthia's itching to get back over there and meet some of you guys over there. And yeah, we'll hopefully meet some of you guys too. But that's all for today. I'm going to sign off, and I'll make sure to get back to you guys with your answers on those questions. I'll also be sending out a recording as well if you want to go back and watch some of that. Thank you, Susan. Thank you as well. It's been lovely chatting with you all. And yeah, I'm going to sign off. So yeah, click on those trip dates as well before I end the webinar if you want to have a wee nosy at some dates. Okie dokie. See you guys.